As you've probably already heard, Iran, quote unquote, responded to the U.S. attacking their nuclear facilities. Ben talked about this yesterday on the show, but it was a pretty weak response, and it was definitely more of a symbolic response than anything else. As far as we know, there were 0 casualties. All of the missiles were intercepted, whether that was by Qatar or by the U.S. And this response was actually coordinated with not only Qatar and the other countries that Iran was attacking, but also with the United States. So it was definitely more of a symbolic response. The State Department told all U.S. citizens in Qatar to shelter in place, which meant that they knew that a threat was coming very soon. It looks like 10 to 14 missiles were launched at the U.S. airbase in Qatar. Ayatollah Khamenei said this: "We will not surrender to any aggression. This is the logic behind the Iranian nation," as he does one of the weakest responses in history. Qatar, interestingly, a spokesman for Qatar's foreign ministry said the attack was a, quote, surprise and a flagrant violation of its sovereignty. And he also said that Qatar has the right to respond directly, which is very interesting. So far, we haven't seen any kind of response from Qatar and probably won't. Trump said this on Truth Social. Quote, "Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected and have very effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and 1 was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. I'm pleased to report that no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done. Most importantly, they've gotten it out of their system, and there will hopefully be no further hate. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter," which he's ending most of his posts with. Now, this is funny because he said, "I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice." So all of that brings us to this morning, when a ceasefire, which Trump had apparently been working on, was supposed to come into place at 7 o'clock this morning. Last night, Trump posted this on Truth Social. He said, quote, "Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world." He knows that Israel and Iran have been striking each other throughout the night, every night. So I think he gave that timeline, and it made sense for the ceasefire to come into place at 7 o'clock this morning. Here's a clip of Vice President J.D. Vance going into a little more detail about the ceasefire.
What it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
At around 5 o'clock this morning, Iran fired a batch of missiles at Israel. and Israelis ran to the shelters, and then they fired another batch of missiles and another batch and another. It seemed like they wanted to get out or to fire as many missiles as they possibly could at Israel before the ceasefire went into place. And then right at 7 o'clock, actually a few minutes after 7 o'clock, the missiles stopped. And Iranian state media reported that the ceasefire had gone into effect. Looked like it was all going great until about 10:30 this morning. Remember, this is all Israel time. Reports came in that a missile had been launched from Iran and much of northern Israel were running to bomb shelters. It came out that it was actually 2 missiles and they were both intercepted. A few minutes later, Defense Minister Israel Katz said, quote, "I have ordered heavy strikes to be carried out in the heart of Tehran." Israel's chief of staff said, quote, "In light of the severe violation of the ceasefire carried out by the Iranian regime, we will respond with force." Shortly after this, Iranian TV said, quote, "The claim that Iran launched a missile at Israel after the ceasefire went into effect is false." You can't make this stuff up, guys. This is crazy. Iran's Supreme National Security Council threatened any new attack against us will be met with a crushing response, similar to the response that you did to the American bases. A little while later, Iran came out and said they did actually fire the missile, but it was in response to an Israeli violation. We'll be right back with the rest of the show in just 1 second. But first, did you know that you can own real, authentic soil from the Temple Mount in Jerusalem? In the late 1990s, the Islamic Waqf removed thousands of tons of soil from the Temple Mount and dumped it in the Kidron Valley, just outside the old city of Jerusalem. That soil was sifted for artifacts and is now, for the first time ever, available for you to own as a piece of the Temple Mount. What's even more amazing is that much of the proceeds from these products will go directly back into funding the ongoing artifact sifting project in Jerusalem, paving the way for thousands of new exciting artifacts to be discovered. Don't miss out on possibly the only chance in world history to own a fully authenticated and individually numbered piece of the Temple Mount. To find out more, visit TempleMountSoil.com or just click that link in the description below. The first response that we got from Trump about this ceasefire and everything, I guess as soon as he woke up, was kind of a surprise. He posted this on Truth Social. "Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now."
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. Well, we basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
So after all of this, after Trump's criticism of Israel, it came out that Israel decided that they were just going to do strike one target in a symbolic strike. Trump posted this, quote, "Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter." And that is exactly what happened. There were reports of 2 explosions in Tehran shortly after, and Israeli fighter jets were seen returning to Israel. According to Axios, Trump called Netanyahu and asked him not to attack Iran. Netanyahu responded that canceling the attack entirely was not an option, and that Iran's violation of the ceasefire required a response. Ultimately, they agreed to dramatically scale back the operation and abandon plans to strike a wide range of targets. Here's a very succinct timeline of what happened. I thought this was great. Shout out to Cassie Akiva, who posted this on X. 1, Trump announces a ceasefire yesterday, giving 6 hours for both sides to wrap up their operations. 2, Israel starts to bomb Iran heavily. 3, Iran shoots 5 missile barrages at Israel, one of which killed 4 people. 4, Trump's deadline goes into effect and Iran shoots another barrage. 5, Trump announces his deadline is in effect on truth and asks for no more firing. 6, Iran fires 1 missile 3 hours later, which does not land per Trump. 7, Israel vows to respond. 8, Trump publicly demands that Israel not respond and that its planes turn around. 9, Israel strikes a miner site and turns its planes around. So I thought that was a great succinct timeline of what happened. Seemed very accurate. Amit Siegel had a interesting take. He said this: Trump scored a tremendous victory against his party's isolationist wing by both fulfilling his promise to prevent Iran from going nuclear and ending wars rather than starting them. The strike on Fordo and its sister sites brought the war to an end. He's not willing to risk that achievement. And here's a full statement from the Prime Minister's office after Trump and Bibi got off the phone. Quote, the ceasefire was set for 7 a.m. At 3 a.m., Israel attacked with force in the heart of Tehran, hitting regime targets and killing hundreds of Basij and Iranian security forces. Shortly before the ceasefire went into effect, Iran launched a barrage of missiles, one of which claimed the lives of 4 of our citizens in Beersheva. At 7 a.m., the ceasefire went into effect. At 7:06 a.m., Iran launched 1 missile into Israeli territory, and at 10:25 a.m., 2 more missiles. The missiles were intercepted or fell in open areas without casualties or damage. In response to Iran's violations, the Air Force destroyed a radar array near Tehran. Following President Trump's conversation with Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israel refrained from further attacks. In the conversation, President Trump expressed his immense appreciation for Israel, which achieved all of its war goals. The president also expressed his confidence in the stability of the ceasefire. And sorry for that flood of content that I just gave you in a very short amount of time. There is a lot happening here in Israel, a lot changing every day as well. Guys, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. This is obviously not what we wanted to hear. This doesn't really seem to me like peace through strength, but we do have to realize that there could be a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about at all. Who knows what's happening? We'll see in the coming days. Trump could be playing games like he did last week. But let's continue to pray for Israel. On another note, it's coming out that Russia said that they support Iran with a clear stance and they condemn U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. This isn't a surprise, of course, because Russia and Iran, they're always good buddies. This is from the Times of Israel. Quote, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov makes the comment in response to a question about criticism from some commentators who have suggested Russia did not do enough to support Iran, with which it has a strategic partnership pact. Peskov said that many people are trying to spoil relations between Moscow and Tehran by adding fuel to the fire. He notes that Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who held talks with President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on Monday, has said he highly valued Russia's role. That's all I have for today, guys. If you enjoy the content that we've been putting out, please consider subscribing. Really helps us out. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.